Welcome to the realm where poetry meets vision, where leadership breathes through verse, and where one man's heart speaks for an entire nation. From the sands to the sky is not merely a title, it is a movement, a dream sculpted in gold and dust, born from the imagination of His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the Crown Prince of Dubai. This is the story of a poem that transcended words and became a pulse that echoed across deserts, oceans, and the endless skyline of ambition. When Sheikh Hamdan wrote his now iconic poem, he wasn't just composing lines, he was composing destiny. Each word carried the weight of Dubai's past and the light of its tomorrow. His verses became wings for the city, lifting it beyond what was seen, into what could only be dreamed. Through his poetry, he reminded the world that greatness begins not in marble halls, but in the sands where faith first took root. His words became the bridge between tradition and transformation, between silence and awakening. The poem was born out of stillness, the kind of silence that follows deep thought and deep emotion. The desert winds carried his message first, whispering through the dunes before the world could hear it. In those words, Dubai was not just a city, it was a feeling, a living spirit that had risen from humble beginnings to become a beacon of light. Fazza's voice broke the silence of modernity with something ancient and sacred, the language of the heart. He wrote not just for his people, but for humanity. His poem reminded the world that the story of Dubai is the story of courage, of those who dared to dream when there was nothing but endless sand. It spoke of his ancestors, of his father's unwavering vision, and of the people whose sweat became the foundation of towers that now touch the heavens. It was more than poetry, it was prophecy. A reminder that no sky is too high when the soul dares to rise. Each verse painted an image of Dubai not as a city of wealth, but as a land of willpower. Sheikh Hamdan's poem carried a rhythm that felt like heartbeat, steady, proud, and full of gratitude. He spoke of the desert not as a barren place, but as a cradle of resilience. He saw in every grain of sand a story, in every rising tower a prayer, and in every dawn a promise. Through his words, the silence of the past turned into the symphony of progress. The world listened. His poem reached far beyond the Emirates, touching poets, dreamers, and believers across continents. People saw in his verses a reflection of their own hopes, their own struggles, their own rise from dust to destiny. Sheikh Hamdan's words became universal, proof that language may divide nations, but emotion unites them all. From royal courts to humble homes, his poem reminded everyone that dreams belong to those who refuse to be silent. In the poem's soul lay a message about time, that the present is merely a continuation of the past, and the sky is only a mirror for those who remember their roots. Fazza reminded us that the desert taught Dubai its greatest lessons: patience, strength, and the courage to grow where others thought nothing could. His poetry became a conversation between history and tomorrow, a melody sung by generations who built with faith and rose with fire. His words carried the fragrance of the desert and the brilliance of the skyline. The sand symbolized the beginning, humble, rough, and sacred. The sky represented vision, infinite, blue, and free. Between the two stood Dubai, balanced by love and leadership. Sheikh Hamdan's poetry connected these worlds, showing that success without soul is meaningless, and that progress without poetry is hollow. His verses gave Dubai not just shape, but soul. When Fazza's poem was recited publicly, the air itself seemed to listen. Every word felt like a heartbeat of the nation, every pause like a breath of history. The people felt seen, the city felt alive, and the silence that once lingered over the dunes broke into applause. Through his poetry, Sheikh Hamdan didn't just describe Dubai, he defined it. His pen became his sword, his heart became.
The poem became a mirror for Dubai's journey. It reminded the world that progress does not erase history, it honors it. Sheikh Hamdan's verses became a map of gratitude, guiding future generations toward light without forgetting the shadows that shaped them. Every word was dipped in pride, but not arrogance, in hope, but not illusion. His poetry became the anthem of a nation that turned impossibility into identity. And yet, beyond all glory, his poem carried something tender: the love of a son for his father, the devotion of a leader for his people, the awe of a poet for his creator. It was not just an ode to Dubai, but a prayer for the human spirit. In those verses, Sheikh Hamdan spoke to the dreamer in all of us, to keep climbing, to keep believing, to rise beyond the limits of sight. From the sands, he rose, to the sky, he belongs. As the city continues to evolve, Fazza's words remain etched in its foundation. Every skyscraper that pierces the sky seems to whisper his poem in the wind. Every sunrise over the Burj Khalifa feels like a stanza being reborn. His poetry has become part of Dubai's DNA, a living legacy that reminds us that the true measure of success is not how high you rise, but how deeply you inspire. There is something timeless about the way Sheikh Hamdan writes, the way he can blend humility with grandeur, emotion with intellect, and simplicity with majesty. His poem reminds us that leadership is not only about ruling lands but also about inspiring hearts. From the sands to the sky, he showed that a true leader listens first, listens to his people, to his past, and to the quiet voice within his soul. That silence he broke was not just of sound, but of understanding. When the night falls over Dubai and the city lights mirror the stars, Sheikh Hamdan often stands in quiet reflection, gazing across the horizon that his words once shaped. In that stillness, the poem lives again, not as written lines but as living energy breathing through the streets, the towers, and the people. He feels the same silence that once birthed his inspiration, but this time, it's a silence filled with peace, not longing. The city he dreamed of now speaks back to him, whispering in its shimmering glow that his words did not just travel across the world, they became the heartbeat of a nation that refuses to stop dreaming. There are moments when Fazza recalls the early mornings in the desert, the way the wind carried whispers of destiny through the dunes, the way his ancestors once looked up at the same sky and dared to believe in the impossible. Those memories never fade. They live in his heart like verses waiting to be read again. When he writes, it is not from imagination but from remembrance.